life is just always mysterious and surprising. You never know what's around the next corner. You never know what's around the next corner.
There we go. I think we're good now. Wow, that is fast download speed. I'm hooked up on Ethernet now, so my streaming is my download of a stream from Twitch is obnoxiously fast. My Ethernet is able to run about a gig second. It's ridiculous. In any case, but that does mean I can stream with a little bit more consistency now that I've got this new whole space set up. It is still a bit echoey, unfortunately, but I'll have to make do with what I've got. Hello, everybody. Steam waiting room, or stream waiting room. I am not entirely here, apparently. Let's get some of that music going. Finally tuning into this.
I don't know the truth. I don't know the way. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say.
This is too this is a bit too much for now. There we go, a little bit more chill. Yeah, there we go. Hello, Katsura gifted 5 tier 1 community sub gifts. Thank you for that. Macro Deletus, I don't care about Twitch, is hosting again. Foxcop followed. Moody Goldstone, thank you for the follow. Nitrosity, thank you for the follow. Octavius, thank you for the follow. Octavius, that's a fun name. Octavius. Yeah. Howdy. I would definitely sub to Zillion if I could. You know what? That's okay, because Twitch subs are a luxury. Priorities are to basically get through this whole thing. I should probably sand this end down, or I should change pen nibs. Should change pen nibs. There we go. Stay for long. Evening, Zillion. What's the haps? I'm gonna try to do some commissions, but also I'm gonna try to do some Patreon sketches as well, because I need to get those done. Oh dang, yeah. Oh heck! Sorry, gifted a tier 1 sub to Nitroscopy. Alright, this music is far too Far too much. Oh god, I'm tired. Why am I tired? It's not okay. I also got a new light, so the cam is actually able to keep up with my face. See? Did my phone just go off? Oh, it's all the way on the table over there. I gotta go get that. Give me a second. This is purple out. This is a open lid that is a big. A ocean safety violation. I think. Anything's an ocean safety violation. I'm gonna go. I can have some. Let's have some of that. Art. Consider gifting some more tier 1 subs, or I'm just, yeah, what did nitrosity? Or nitrosity. I am reading that right, cool. Alright, let's get started. I think I'm gonna draw... This is a fun character. So let's get warmed up real quick here. I also got a new screen protector for my Wacom. So I am good to go. Did mine? Oh, shoot. I know what I should do. The file is getting so big that it's the GPU isn't able to keep up with it. So let's try this again. Oh, I'm not showing my screen. There we go. My bad. Why is it playing out? Right there. Also, thank you, Dr. Gruber, for the follow. It's depressing. But to be fair, a lot of depressing stuff has been happening in the past couple of days. there. There we go. To those of you who are longtime viewers, this is generally how I warm up. I'm just going from circles to curves, to lines to curves. Just gives me, it helps me warm up, get my sketching down. Alright, let's go move on to this character. I have a very sketchy style, so I'm super messy. To those who know, my back is never able to cry. Oh, sorry, Buster rated with a party of 2? Well, thank you. Sarb Saber. The Scoundrel subscribed with 1 tier. Zillion, do you like physics? Physics is amazing. It's like making science your bitch. So yes, I love physics. I kind of have to. I'm an engineer, so I'm not sure if it's actually I like physics or if it's just Stockholm Syndrome at this point.
Tried to hide in my heart of glass, but you went and you shattered that.
I have no idea how good this is gonna look. All I know is I'm flowing really quickly, which means it's not a good sign. That indicates that I did a good job. I'm not sure if I'm in the art zone or if I'm just really... Tiger Wolf is raiding with a party of 5. Thank you, Tiger Wolf, for the raid. I hope these viewers are entertained, and I hope you're entertained as well. I like the emotes, actually. They're really cool.
We the young, the rising sons of a Mother Earth. We're living every day for all it's worth. Cause from the second it's begun, the clock is counting down to the night that our light is not out. So we'll bleed and try the moment, legends in our time. We're carving our initials in this world, more than acting like we own it. Hope to fall and climb beneath the generations flag unfurled. For as long as we're the young, we're gonna hang out on the ledge, unafraid of heights or even letting go.
I've also been pretty much drawing and working most of the day, so I'm pretty used to this. That's Adobe Photoshop. It is. I get free through my school, which I'm graduating next semester, so I have no idea what I'm gonna do. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna resize the head.
We don't need a guarantee, meant to reassure. Uncertainty is always at our door. The price we pay for being free is never knowing when.
Wow, that actually looks really freaking good.
We'll reach the end. So we'll bleed and try the moment, legends in our time. We're carving our initials in this world, more than acting like we own it. Hope to fall and climb beneath the generations flag unfurled. For as long as we're the young, we're gonna hang out on the ledge.
Oh my god. I have no idea why I'm moving this fast. Let's give him a little scarf like he has in his ref. Or a little bandana thing. He looks so happy. Let's make him dance. Cha-cha-cha. 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 Such a child. Switch sides just so I... The arm is far too long. Wait, he sent me a message on Patreon. If I can, I think it was something about making it cabbage related. Bonus points for making it cabbage related. No, nothing about that. But I think we can do that anyways. This is a picture of the cabbage. I am in the art zone, you guys. Now I'm unstoppable. Backstart just a little bit. Wait, what? Ah, okay, no, this is a different one. Yay, I get to draw Kali at some point. I'm sorry, some species I just get really excited about drawing because it's something that I either like or really don't know. I haven't drawn a lot. So your art just amazes me every time. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now let's continue drawing this cabbage. This is far too basy for anything that I should be drawing. So I'll immediately switching to more base. What have I got that isn't quite so... Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of, rock. Because I've been on a punk binge lately. That or modern rock, I don't know which. One is slightly better. Zillion, are you having a great night so far? Yes, I'm actually in the art zone, so that's really cool. Coffee the Proto says, I'd rather not do digital art. Also, I've heard that drawing traditional doesn't really translate well to digital. It doesn't, but you're gonna have to make that jump eventually. Basically, it took me quite... So I started with traditional, actually, back in high school. And it took me a while to actually get used to a tablet and drawing system, but it took some time, and I used to sketch solely on paper before actually translating it into retracing it again and doing the line work digitally. So it does take, it is a bit of a learning curve, but you start by basically drawing the sketch traditionally and then basically scanning it in and then finishing it up in digital for a while, and then you get more used to it, and then over time I just stopped drawing traditionally and then just went straight digital. And now I can go back to traditional and draw traditional just fine. In fact, I enjoy it sometimes. What is program? Look in the upper... Most programs have their symbol in the upper left corner. That is my answer.
I was just an only child of the universe, and then I found you, and then I found you. You are the sun, and I am just the planets spinning around you, spinning around you. Do what's too good to be true. Go forward, but what's inside you? But what's inside you? I know this whole damn city thinks it needs you, but not as much as I do, as much as I do. Yeah, 'cause you're the last of a dying breed. Run our names in the wet concrete. I wonder if the therapist knows everything about me. I'm here in search of your glory.
Good enough.
Before me, that ultra kind of love you never walk away from. You're just the last of the real ones. You're just the last of the real ones.
Helix Nard donated 10 bits. Thank you for the 10-bit donation. I also really need to update that actual animation. Could probably draw me holding up a bit or something. The hell? Ah. Give me a second. That is an excellent drawing, if I do say so myself. Super funny though. Let's see, I have picture.
There's 104 days of summer vacation. Tonight we are victorious, champagne pouring over us. All my friends were glorious. Tonight we are victorious.
I'm having way too much fun with these.
I know you need it, do you feel it? Drink the water, drink the wine. Oh, we gotta turn up the crazy. Living like a washed up celebrity. Shooting fireworks like it's the 4th of July. Until we feel alright. Until we feel
There we go. Hey, yo, Zillion in chat says Calcavision? Zill streams so late, it's almost 12 a.m. 12 a.m. for you, it's not 12 a.m. for me. I live on the West Coast, because West Coast, best coast. But, I'm sorry I'm streaming so late. I tried to stream earlier today, but I was just so busy with a bunch of other stuff. So I'm working on another YouTube video. I was working on my bike today, and then just general chores around the house. But, like, overall, it's been a busy day, and it's been a very productive day. There we go. When you got to digital art, what helped you push you through to continue? It's just the fact that art supplies cost money. Digital art didn't. Getting a program like Krita or using like school computers was what really got me into digital art. Also the fact that like all the tutorial artists that I was watching also did digital art. But in all honesty, traditional art is so cool as well. And if you just want to stick to traditional, that's totally fine. You can get super far. I got so good with Copic markers back in the day that I could make pictures look like they were almost printed. You could hardly tell the difference. So you can go pretty far with traditional. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. If that's all you got, that's all you got. And you can definitely do a lot with that.
She looks good in the morning, and she don't even know it. I don't want you to go yet. Can we stay in the moment? Don't look in the mirror, look into my eyes. When you see your reflection, you'll see what I like. You look good in the morning, and you don't even know it. I knew that.
Did I forget? No, I didn't. Okay, good. For a second, I thought I forgot eyebrows on the last one.
Sundress with you on my arm. Take the coupe out the garage, pull the roof back, just me, you, and the stars. Toast to the gods. She's the one, a masterpiece. She a drug at a fast release. Got me sprung, wrapped in sheets. Wake up, fuck, and then we going back to sleep.
Got way more cheap flow from that.
Fluorescent color stuck in your iris. We comfortable in silence, but I prefer it when we wildin'. Sundress, nothing underneath as we undress. You
There
can
we
look
go.
in my eyes, see I'm some mess. Couple of broken people.
Nice good evening, Zill. Hello. Yeah, it night. Do you know those wooden figures? They're pretty good for poses. Yeah, I've actually never used one. I'll be completely honest, ever. I'm sure they're great, I've never gotten one. I've never had the inclination to, weirdly enough. Jiskies, in terms of non-digital materials, you can go back to that and practice. Mostly, like, I go back to digital when I go back to traditional when I literally just have a pen and nothing else better to do. It doesn't take much to get back into it. It's not a skill that you will likely forget. As long as you generally practice art, I think that's the most important thing. Because as long as you keep drawing, you won't lose that skill. It might take you a bit to get the motor control back a little bit, but overall, it shouldn't affect your actual drawing ability, because it's all in the head. It's not really in your muscle memory. It'll just take a little bit longer. Wolfhover, thank you so much for saying that. I'm glad I could be an inspiration to you too. I'm actually starting to notice a lot more people saying that ever since this whole COVID thing started. People are learning how to draw because they got nothing else better to do from the looks of it. Which is good. I'm glad people are keeping themselves occupied and busy. Thank you, Timber the Fool, for the follow. I hope you enjoy my antics and stupidity. Wonderful. We got the Cabbage Boy, and guess I'll die. To be fair, Docs, a lot of problems with art is just not being able to, like, it's habitual. Like, you learn over time, so being able to, just kind of get it down over and over again, because I'm obviously not the best artist, and I never will be, but it'll just take time, and I keep improving, because art is fun, and that's the most important aspect of it. Let's do Eclipse. So I got Volks done. This is for Affinity Link. That just looks like a pedophile's face.
I remember the first night that she said, oh, maybe I can do this on my own. And despite all the reassurances and reoccurrences, you will not be alone. And I know that you're holding out for better weather, and I can't promise you that I'll be around forever. If there's one thing I know, it's that we're good together. One thing I know, it's that we're good together. I will try to hold you up through those times when you were gone. Despite the weather, it gets better. You won't do this alone. Do this alone.
There we go.
I remember the first night that she went to find a little place inside this world. I won't forget the way she broke her tape down. She needed it now. She ran into it all. And I know that you're holding out for better weather, and I can't promise you that I'll be around forever. If there's one thing I know, it's that we're good together. One thing I know, it's that we're good together. And I will try to hold you up through those times when you were gone. Despite the weather, it gets better. You won't do this alone.
There we go.
If you're listening, whoa. Sing it back and forth. Straight from the tether unwinds. Whoa, whoa, up and outward to bind. Whoa, whoa, I was spinning free. Whoa.
This looks really good. Ah, yes, Teenage Dinks, the song! My favorite.
When I was a young boy, my father took me into the city to see a marching band. He said, son, when you grow up, would you be the savior of the broken, the beaten, and the damned? He said, will you defeat them, your demons, and all the non-believers, the plans that they have made? Because one day I'll leave you a phantom to lead you in the summer to join the Black Parade.
Am I missing anything? I should not be. We could probably do the hair. Get your teen angst on, guys. Nice. All the angst, yes, all the angst. make note, this is Kuro, not Kiro. Just think I should make that difference. Completely different character. Zillion, do you ever listen to Green Day? I actually learned how to play, that was an American Idiot. It was like Holiday on the guitar back when I used to play that. Will you make a tutorial on Dungeons & Dragons? I'll put that on the list, along with Circles.
We grew up in the suburbs, got guitars for Christmas, and started a punk rock band. Then we traveled the nation, became a sensation in our 82 Dodge van. Now we're getting older and much more sober, and we've got some big house payments to make. The wife wants a handbag, the kids need some college, and we just need one hit single to break. Get ready, here it comes. This song sounds like a dead song.
how do these ears work?
Another day is going by. I'm thinking about you all the time. But you're out there and I'm here waiting. And I wrote this letter in my head, 'cause so many things were left unsaid. But now you're gone and I can't think straight. This could be the one last chance to make you
There we go.
I'd do anything just to hold you in my arms, to try to make you laugh.
Hello, Clocky!
I'd do anything just to fall asleep with you. Will you remember me? 'Cause I know I won't forget you. Together we broke all the rules, dreaming of dropping out of school and leave this place to never come back. So now, maybe after all these years, if you miss me, have no fear. I'll be here, I'll be waiting. This could be the one last chance to make you understand. And I just can't let you leave me once again. Yeah, I'd do anything just to hold you in my arms, to try to make you laugh, 'cause somehow I can't put you in the past. I'd do anything just to fall asleep with you. Will you remember me? 'Cause I know I won't forget you. I close my eyes and all I see is you. I close my eyes.
For my Cintiq 16 tablets that I used, I actually started off with an Intrig digitizer, which is a Microsoft Surface Pro or an old Sony Vaio. Those worked really well for me. Also, another thing that I would suggest is a iPad. I used to use a bunch of old Wacom Bamboo tablets before I had my own, and that was just the ones that my school provided. But honestly, just like a laptop with a like tablet pen that goes with it. It's not as good of a digitizer as you would have on like an actual tablet, like drawing tablet. And then I had a Wacom Cintiq Companion 2 that I gave to a friend because I wasn't using it. And then that's the one I used up to like a couple of years ago. Or to last year. Around this exact same time. I've had this specific tablet for like a year now. Before that, I had a Wacom Cintiq Companion 2. I think I know what my next video is going to be on.
Already, I was just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. And I can't be late, 'cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It was just another manic Monday. I wish it were Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. But I don't have to run day. It was just another manic Monday. Have to catch an early train, gotta be at work by 9. And if I had an airplane, I still couldn't make it on time. 'Cause it takes me so long just to figure out what I'm gonna wear. Blame it on the train, but the boss is already there. It was just another manic Monday. I wish it were Sunday, 'cause that's my fun day. But I don't have to run day. It was just another manic Monday. All of the nights, why did my lover have to pick a last night to get down? Last night, it's not enough that I have to be the both of
we go. Can you tell us a little bit about your way into the furry fandom? Oh god, that's such a long story. Good lord. Oh, I'm trying to think about where would I begin that story. There's a lot. Okay, I think I want, how many of you have heard the story of how I joined the furry fandom, and how many of you have not? Because that'll determine whether I want to tell the story again, because it's a bit of a long one. He deserved ball. From show of hands, how many people have heard the story of how I joined the fandom? Because that's a majority. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, so I need to, give me a second. I need to figure out how I'm gonna do this, because I'm on another commission, and I'm thinking I'm gonna do, Rigby's telegram stickers, and if I am correct, he ordered 5 to 7. Oh, these are beautiful. So, one of the great things I love about Telegram stickers is I'm able to come up with just, like, insane expressions. Did I even say that right? Expressions. What song is this? It's called All the Old Things by Sunrise Skater Kids. Alright, I'm gonna pull up my own stickers because I'm gonna be using those as reference. There we go. So what am I using? So I'm using... using a 15 size, so I'm just gonna write this down. Line work 15 pixels. Zillion, how much for a sticker bundle? They're like 17 per sticker. I'll be. The commission forms have already been filled out. I need to finish these ones. This isn't 2000s punk rock. I didn't know you had Telegram stickers. Not many people do. They don't get around that often because I don't use Telegram stickers that much. Alright, let's see. Blending options. What do we got? So we got a stroke. No, that's not what I wanted. So we have a stroke. There's a drop shadow. So what we gotta do. So my guess is this is gonna be a 30. Or was it 20? $25. There should be a drop shadow. Drop shadow 45 30 0 40. Let me just double check that. Yeah. Alright, so the first one we have is approval. So we need to use a much bigger brush size. I'm thinking about 60. Okay, we absolutely massive. Yeah. That might still be too small. We're gonna go freaking 80. Yeah. That's more like it. It's almost 9 a.m. here in Greece. Well, I'm glad it's still a reasonable time for you. in some way or another. So you really don't want to tell a story. I completely forgot, honestly. So, oh god, how do I even start? Well, one, I want to start on this drawing. Let's move that over here. Approval. So, oh god, I gotta turn down the music too because this takes a lot of brain power, by the way, and it's not an easy story to tell just because it's so long. Oh god, okay, hold on. Alright, so this done. I really want to get the sketch done. How do I draw this? Sorry, like I really do want to tell the story. It's just there's no way I can tell this story and draw at the same time. And I'm like in the art zone, and it's basically gonna throw my groove completely off. So I want to get like at least some sketch work done before I completely. I'm gonna need to resketch this with a slightly smaller brush at some point. Oh, I love this song so much. So once we're done with the story, we'll actually get to this song. Okay. All right, who's ready for story time with Zillion Ross? Because that's what we're doing now. All right. You asked for it, you get it. All right. Let's actually go from the beginning. Where would I start? All right. I'm trying to think. Okay. And so I think the simplest explanation for why I'm a furry is the fact that I have always had an interest in anthropomorphic characters. You know those kids on like the weird kids on the playground that like wanted to be the horse or wanted to be the dog? Well, I actually wanted to be the knight, and I didn't really much care for the animals, but I remember my parents telling me one time I like was convinced that I was a bear because I was a small idiot child. I don't know. And I think that was probably the start of like, okay, maybe there's something here. And I had a weird attachment to animal movies. And not like in like, oh, these are cool characters. Like as in I really, really want to be these animal characters, like really badly. And it was weird. But so that went on for like most of my life. And it was kind of like this escapism into like a certain reality that I just couldn't really get because I don't know, I was the weird kid and I always felt kind of just. I think the best way to explain it is that I always felt like I was rubbing somebody against the grain, which, considering I was recently diagnosed with ADHD, that makes total sense that that's the case. And I think the just escapism of feeling like I could be just something else really, like, I really gravitated towards that. Skunkin Senpai is now following. Thank you for the follow. We're doing story time with Zillion Ross, and I don't know. It really wasn't like I didn't know. Okay, I think I discovered the fandom one time on YouTube, like back in the 2000s, when I was looking up videos just on YouTube, and it randomly popped up once of just like an animated music video of just old furry art, like back when AOL. Like this was YouTube version like 1.0. It was like the beginning of YouTube. And I am the disappointment sheer with 5 bits. Thank you. And in any case, I really, really liked the idea of just anthropomorphic characters. A lot. Right, I was like early YouTube. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And I just kind of like zooched it past, and it never came up again for like, was it like 10 years? I think. Yeah, it was like that long. And what ended up happening is I started. Ooh, this is it. So I've always been a very sporty individual. Like I've always been super athletic. I've been super hyper. Again, partially because of ADHD, probably, but then also partially because I just enjoyed exercise because it was fun. And I used to go to the skate park a lot. Like a lot, a lot. Like I'd spend every day there after school. I got pretty good for like a 13-year-old. Like I learned how to acid drop, I learned how to pop shove it, I learned how to drop into vertical bowls at a very young age. And it was really cool to kind of do stuff like that. Then, but unfortunately, I was kind of overweight. So, despite me being really good at doing certain things, I was absolutely awful in terms of physical stamina. I was a tubby. I was a tubby child. I was a pretty tubby child. And I started like developing an affinity for like other extreme sports in that area, like snowboarding and such. I stopped skateboarding after I got chased out of the skate park by a older gentleman at the time. Like I was 14 at the time, and I got like chased out of the skate park by an adult, and that was pretty traumatizing. Yeah, and just like overall, like it was, they were cunts. A lot of skateboarders are cunts. A lot of skateboarders are really nice. Like good skateboarders are really good skateboarders and are really nice. But these guys were cunts. These guys were proper cunts. And it just sucked because it like took all the fun out of the skate park because you were just Like, what the? I don't know. It still gets me sometimes because I'm not like much of a I'm when it comes to like fight or flight, I will always go for flight because I've been in those situations and that's just how my body reacts and I can't stop it from doing that. Um, but I picked up mountain biking after I kind of said fuck this and started doing. There was also a traumatizing skating camping trip I did with the YMCA that was pretty fun. Not really. Also, kind of fault of my ADHD for that one, but I just kept pestering a bunch of the other people who were on the trip, and they just decided to bully me because that's the like when you have somebody who's just kind of being an obnoxious prick the entire time, not knowing obviously, but just kind of just not getting the hint. You kind of have to like try harder and harder to make them get the hint. So yeah, I can understand why they did it. I don't condone their actions. Obviously, I don't condone any actions like that, but I can understand it. In any case, after that, I kind of decided, you know what, fuck this. I'm not going to skateboard anymore. So I decided to pick up biking, and specifically mountain biking. And one of the things I like about mountain biking is I actually started off dirt jumping, which was like right next to the skate park. So I like went up there and I started learning how to dirt jump on the jumps with a old rickety cross country bike, which was pretty funny. But I really liked it, and I started to get better and better, and I started to get more and more skill, and then I got a new bike, and it was also a cross country bike that I decided to turn into a quote unquote slope style bike. That didn't work, but I gave it my best shot, and overall I had a really good time. And I eventually got more and more bikes, and like I think it was by the time I was 15, I got my first proper dirt jumper, and after that I was like, "Ooh, this is it. I like this." And I started getting a lot better really quickly. I learned suicides at a very young age, and it's still the best trick I know. And I just enjoyed mountain biking. Now, into high school, I went to a private school for middle school, and when I got into high school, it was a fresh slate for me. I had no friends, I had no one to talk to, and the only focus I really had was classes. I made friends eventually, but overall, I was generally like the odd one out, and I didn't really fit in with most of the crowds. And back then, I just like mountain biking. I really like mountain biking. I took an applied physics class that I absolutely just excelled at, like to a ridiculous level, because it was like me messing with drills and expensive equipment that really shouldn't be given to a high schooler, but I was really good at it. And eventually I made some friends, more or less acquaintances really. I don't think I really had like close friends back then. I had one. He's getting married now. Huh. Yeah, I hope I'm not like boring people with this story. And then I think it was sophomore year. No, it was freshman year of high school. I took a mountain bike ride with a couple of people that I just met from school, and I broke my collarbone riding a trail called Mullet up at Galbraith Mountain in Bellingham, Washington. And which is funny, I wrote it a couple of days ago. Really has the trail hasn't changed much, and I actually ride through the spot that I previously broke my collarbone so many years ago. And oh, that was a funny story because basically what ended up happening is my what is it? I was like I fell down, my arm hurt. I'm like, oh god, this hurts, guys. This really hurts. Oh, I don't think I'm feeling great. And I like look at my shoulder and it's like, um, yeah, this bone is this bone supposed to be is this lump supposed to be here as my collarbone is clearly broken and sticking out. I can feel the crack still. Is sticking out of the is basically making a lump in this like in the skin. There's definite indentation, and my friends are like, "I'm not sure, man. Looks fine to me. We're gonna continue riding down the mountain," and they just abandoned me on the mountain. So I'm left one-handed to ride the rest of the way down the hill. And I call my dad when I get to the parking lot, and I'm like, "Hey, "Hey, Dad, I think I broke my collarbone." And he's just on the phone like, you didn't break your collarbone. Stop being such a wuss. I'll come get you. Fine, I don't have to. And he was looking furious. When I, God, like you said, great friends. And then I remembered some really dumb shit I did with them that kind of drove them off. It was my fault, but they were good. I'm just again, I used to be a really annoying piece of shit. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. And I'm not really. I'll be completely honest. I'm not really a great friend most of the time. I'm just my attention span is like that of a walnut, and I don't know. I there's a lot that I need to unpack, and a lot I'm still kind of just figuring out about myself. But that's another story. And basically, my dad shows up to the parking lot. And I was like, oh my god, let's get you to the hospital. So it's just like, yeah, thanks, Dad, thanks for believing me. Um, so I get to the hospital, and they're basically like, yeah, you're gonna be down for like 2 months, which was great because like, hooray, I'm going to go on a vacation to Mexico with my family that they've been planning for like the past 4 years. And now I'm stuck with a broken collarbone and I don't even get to surf. And what ends up happening is I'm still in school. And so I come to school the next day. It's like, hey guys, what's up? I got a sling on. I broke my collarbone. These bastards abandoned me. They felt really bad about that. It didn't really register until much later, like that was like a really bad thing to do, especially considering I've had to deal with multiple concussion incidences, and broken bones and injuries where I've had to like help people down the mountain. But it was it was pretty funny, especially because I was okay. And then basically I had nothing to do. Like the one thing that I really enjoyed, I couldn't do anymore. I tried playing video games, but I got bored of them really fast. Now I'm not sure, like again, because of like a lot of self-reflection and stuff, like a lot of this points back to like probably the ADHD that I've had. But like video games, they did not hold my attention for that long. Like I could not play a video game. I found them boring. And basically I was like, okay, I need something more stimulating. I need something a little bit more. I don't know. I need to do something else. And I always liked drawing. I was okay at it. I was a bit above average before I broke my collarbone, and then I basically decided, oh hey, okay, let's try to draw some stuff. And I did. And so I started drawing. My brother was the big artist in the family at the time. He drew every day. He drew warrior cats for days at that time. And he started to draw like armor concepts for this story called Legends of Ravania. It was pretty cool. And I really he did a really good job with fleshing out the characters as much as a middle schooler can with their story. So it was a bit cringy at the time. And I basically tacked myself onto that because I didn't have my own stories that I could tell, and I basically was like, cool, I'll adapt yours and try to draw them. And I was not as good of an artist as he was. He was definitely a little bit better than me, but I started getting pretty good pretty fast. I basically decided it's like, oh, I know that other artists kind of use construction lines, so maybe I should try using construction lines too. But obviously, I didn't look up any tutorials or anything, so I just kind of judged the construction lines along and just kind of tried to learn the general structure of shapes and whatnot. This was like before I learned perspective or anything, but I just enjoyed drawing. And I don't know. I just enjoyed it. Like I didn't care that I was good or that I was bad. I just kind of enjoyed doing it for the most part. And that's really what kind of kept me going through like the vacation, through not being able to be fair, I was able to reel in like I think it was like a 7-foot marlin with a broken arm. So that was pretty dope on my trip to Mexico, to Baja, Mexico. And from there I started like drawing. I kept drawing over the summer. And I think it was after we got back from Mexico that I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I should probably look up how to draw. Wait, Or was no, wait. Not quite yet. We're not there yet. I was really into how'd the story go? The Legends of Ravania. It is so complex I cannot even describe. At this point, my brother has multiple plot lines going. It's insane, and it boggles my brain. He knows what the story is. I don't. And when I was in Mexico, my brother told me about like one of the characters like turns into a bird. I was like, that's cool, but what if he turned into a dragon? And I then got obsessed with dragons. And I think it was I just kept drawing dragons, and I started looking up dragons on DeviantArt. At this point, I created my first I created DeviantArt pages. Like, hey, this is my DeviantArt, and I'm just gonna look at art and post my cool drawings here. So I did, and they obviously got like one favorite per post because I wasn't very good, and it's DeviantArt, so it doesn't really the sharing system isn't really that spectacular on that site. Never was, still isn't. Everybody keeps complaining about DeviantArt Eclipse, but people keep forgetting how hard it was to get followers back on the old DeviantArt too. It was just I don't know if it was the fact that I just wasn't good at art. No, it isn't, because like even after I gained like a bajillion subscribers on YouTube and like still posting stuff to DeviantArt, it still like only get like 2 views on like my webcomic that I uploaded. So yeah, it's just like, no, DeviantArt has always been shit for a majority of people. There's only a couple of people who have a problem with it. I just always thought it was kind of bad. Anyways, that's just my personal opinion. If you like the site, you like the site, and that's okay. But no, let me think. So I started looking up, like, oh my god, I wonder if other people have drawn dragons on here. And obviously, knowing it's DeviantArt, there were a lot of people who drew dragons. And no, I'm messing up my timeline. I am absolutely messing up my time. Am I messing up my timeline? Maybe. Clovis Wild Dog, thank you for the follow. Oh shoot, I'm trying to remember. Like, yeah. So let me go back to my old DeviantArt, see if I can figure out what it is. See if I can't find see if I can't find the. If you can find my old DeviantArt, kudos to you. I'm not giving it out. You're gonna have to find it yourself. Oh, goddammit. Oh, look, I got one new message. Somebody came close. Somebody came close. On May 4th, somebody has gotten close. If there is somebody in chat named Fairvies on DeviantArt, you found me, but you don't know it yet, unless you're watching the stream. Now you do know. But in any case, let me try to find. Let me try to find it. I can't find. Go to gallery. Let's see if I can find the timeline for this, because I didn't really I didn't upload a lot. Or I uploaded a decent amount, but I was not good. Like a timeline basis. Aha, here we go. Yeah, so it wasn't very great. Okay, so this was. Yeah, so like most of my posts got like one favorite, two favorites, one favorite, one favorite, two favorites, five favorites. Let's go oldest. Five favorites, four favorites, one favorite, 11 favorites, seven favorites, five favorites, one favorite, two favorites, zero favorites, four favorites, zero favorites, three favorites, two favorites, seven favorites, five favorites, three favorites, five favorites, three favorites, 12 favorites, 25 favorites on that one. So that was pretty cool. Four on these, four favorites, zero favorites, four favorites, eight favorites, six favorites, you get the gist. I think what is it? My latest post that I ever made got 10 favorites in total. So I know the struggle. It's all about them llamas there. Yeah, I didn't really get llamas either. So to those who are like and I think I was on like DeviantArt for 3 years at this point, or at that point. I found the thing. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I was like looking at dragons on DeviantArt because I was like, yeah, I like dragons because I really liked American Dragon at the time. Newsflash, I wanted to like be like I fantasize about being a character and that like daydream wise because I'm a cringy bastard. In any case, I looked at dragons on DeviantArt and found, oh boy, I found a plethora of that. Now, obviously, I had like the safer work tag on, and I always have for DeviantArt, and I don't ever take that off because, good lord, I don't want my eyes bleached out. And I just kind of like started drawing them. Like I found this one artist that I really liked. I started like basically not necessarily tracing their, I was tracing their art. Yeah, I was tracing their art. Never posted it because it was just like, you know what? These are just my personal drawings. And I think like deep down I understood that like no, I didn't really deep down understand that it was tracing that much. It's just kind of like, yeah, this is kind of weird. Maybe I shouldn't post this. It's kind of stupid. And people are going to find it stupid because even I find it stupid. And from there I kind of went if you ever want to get a dose of grade A DA crims, search up I hate everything's favorites list. I'm not treading into NSFW stuff on DA. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. Hold on, my stream just crashed, which is really weird. I should have really fast internet, so this shouldn't be an issue. In any case, I looked up dragons and I drew dragons and I was happy. And I think it was like at that point, it was like, I really want to get better at drawing humans. I don't really know how to draw these things. And this was like a couple of weeks after I got back from my Mexico trip. And I was like, I wonder if there's Dragon Wolf Star following. So I'll just show you the story of how I became a filthy trash animal. Why can't Discord have a safer work feature? I hate getting DM'd NSFW images. Galactic Azuri, that's just called finding better friends and better servers, unfortunately. And that's a bad joke. I'm really sorry I made that one. I redact my statement. I don't know. I guess it sucks that you're getting NSFW images. I normally don't, but that's also because I guess people just don't want to fuck with me. I don't know. So to continue on with my story of how I degraded my self-worth, let's go on to I decided, or I kind of thought, you know what? I've been drawing these things, and I kind of have no idea what the fuck I'm. So let me go back into the voice. It's like I'm kind of drawing these things, but I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I wonder if there are any tutorials on the internet. And I looked up on YouTube. It's like drawing tutorials, how to draw humans, and no, I mean like stranger DMing me. Is it just like one stranger? Because if that's the case, just block them. Like it's not worth your time to deal with them. Your peace of mind doesn't matter if they're. It's just either if they're yeah if it's a stranger, mute or block them. It's just not worth it. Or politely tell them it's your choice. In any case, I went and found a YouTube channel called Draw with Jazza. Now this is nowadays the channel is just called Jazza and it has like over a million bajillion subscribers. But back then it was just a humble art tutorial channel, and I was like, shit, these exist? And then boom, my art just improved tenfold just from one goddamn video, and I was like, what? No way. That's insane. Yo. And I was so proud of myself. I was so proud of myself. I was like, yeah, fucking draw. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could do this. I could do anything. Oh god. Yeah, and like you can. Oh god, I used chicken scratch too. But it's like this difference between Oh god, that's so fucking cringy. I'm like looking back at what I drew, and it's just like, no, don't draw that. That's stupid. You're stupid. It's just like some stupid post about like I've been weighed down, so like there's a spark in me and whatnot, which is just BS because everybody feels weighed down in some way by something, and it's not just intuitive to a single individual. It's just how we all feel. r/I'm14 and this is deep is what I'm looking at from my old DeviantArt. Yeah, no, but I like found Jazza back in high school, and it was like, what the fuck? There's no way I could just do this. And I just kept watching his tutorials, and I kept watching his videos, and I was like, no, this is insane. This is so cool. And I kept watching tutorials and watching the videos and kept like drawing more and more humans and kept drawing more and more, and I just enjoyed it more and more. I was like drawing clothes, I was drawing expressions, I was drawing faces, I was drawing male and females, and I was just like, this is fucking dope. I want to keep doing this, and I did. I kept doing this even after I got back into mountain biking, and I was like, I would come home and I'd draw because, God, I'd like draw for hours, like I'm doing now. But I just like draw and draw and draw and draw and draw, and like even now, because I used to draw humans back then, like I can just whip out a human anytime I want to. It's not an issue for me. It does not come as a challenge to me. It is quite easy, which is why I definitely recommend learning how to draw humans, even if you are a furry, because there are a lot more tutorials on how to draw humans than there are to draw furries. Like, if you look up how to draw furries, you get my tutorial, one other that's well made, that's a relatively well made tutorial, and then just kind of a bunch of screencasts. And then you look up how to draw humans, and there's just an insane amount of professional. Zillion, you're getting any new emotes, probably, when I find time. And if you just look up how to draw humans, you can find a bunch of videos on figure drawing, expressions, facial structure, human. And it's just like, it's night and day. It's night and day. And I'm no expert, so definitely look up those other videos. And then I'll draw a circle and then draw the rest. Yeah. In any case, I was so hyped to like draw every day and like every night and like draw. So I drew like in class and I drew humans in class, but like at night when I was in my room alone, which I was in like this old like walk-in closet because that's where I was forced to live throughout the entirety of high school. I would just like draw like dragons and OCs of like American Dragon in like my bedroom and stuff because I knew it was like, this is probably kind of cringe. I probably shouldn't share this. And I would just draw and draw and draw. And from there, I kind of just kept drawing and drawing all the way up till yeah, like I think sophomore year, I was like, screw it, I'm gonna step in. Yeah, no, it was sophomore year. Oh shit, it was sophomore year. Okay, here we go. So we're actually getting. So now, long story aside, we're getting into the actual part where I actually found out what a fucking furry was. Now, I'd always had like an interest in like anthropomorphic animals. Obviously, I drew like dragons and stuff, and I decided for like a project that we're supposed to make a logo for ourselves. Um, back in my design class. Zach Dom subscribed for 2 months with Prime or Zook Adam. Thank you so much for the subscription. There, my sub. Awesome. And we had to make a logo and like had to like interpret the logo. And living in a closet, what does that remind me of? Well, it reminds me of most of my gay friends, and it also reminds me of Harry Potter. So, and I'm not gay. So does that make me a wizard? I'm the closet wizard. Anyways, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Harry Otter. In any case, I drew like some dragons riding bikes because I like riding bikes. So I drew a dragon riding a bike. And this is at the point where I started implementing my understanding of anatomy to dragons now because I'm like, I know how to draw anatomy, so I'm going to implement it into dragons. And this one guy who I was an acquaintance of like the first couple of days in my tech class just came up to me and saw like the drawing. He's like, "What are you, some sort of fucking furrier? What are you, some furrier or something?" And so what goes through my brain is just because it's like it was said in a condescending voice. It was like, no. But inside my head, I'm like, what the fuck is a furry? Because I didn't know at the time, and what was it like? I didn't know. I didn't have a phone, so it was just kind of like stuck in my hands. Like, what the fuck is a furry? Like, what does he mean by a furry? I obviously didn't ask him because he was being kind of a jerk. But I go home and like look it up. It's like furry. Oh, oh no! I did react in the right way. Okay, cool. Like a part of me was like, oh, this is weird. This isn't. I don't like this. But like a very like there was a very large part. So one side there was at that moment there were two wolves inside me. One was Jesus fucking Christ, burn it with fire, because I'm an edgy teenager and that's what edgy teenagers do. But also like a lot of the stuff genuinely creeped me out, and I was like, oh, this makes me feel uncomfortable. Um, but the other like very like the other wolf inside me was like, I have. Oh my god, I'm not the only one. And that like it was that dichotomy that just sent me like kind of. I was like, oh my god, what what? No fucking way, this is gross, but holy shit, it's not like just because to me it was just like, not only am I not the only one, but there's a lot of these fuckers. There's a lot of them. Wow. And at that point, I was like, okay, I'm in high school. Logically, I should probably just hate furries and just fit in, or just not focus on them because I have other things that I want to do, and I shouldn't just bring up furries in everyday conversation because that's stupid. So I didn't, and I kind of just went on with school. But like, so what is it like? What's the term? Anime in the streets, hentai in the sheets is what like the anime version of it. But for me, it was like normal person outside of my bedroom, and like it was drawing humans outside of my bedroom and like in public, and then secretly drawing like dragons and furries inside my room. No, I kept drawing like dragons. I'm like, these are dragons. They're pretty popular. There's not furries. These are furries. No, I'm not drawing furries. Nope. These aren't furries. These are dragons. even though I make them stand on two legs and they have wings, and I try to give them expressions. Yeah, but they're not furries. They're definitely not furries. Yeah, and then I think that went on for like a couple of like an entire year, like my entire sophomore year. I had a bunch of other stuff that I was dealing with sophomore year. Suicidal thoughts, depression, basically my entire life crashing in around my head, like, why am I this annoying? Why am I like this? Why do I seemingly push others why do I push others away because I'm bored of them? And why am I mentally ill? Am I mentally handicapped? Like, that was legitimately what was going through my head through the entirety of my sophomore year of high school, and it really fucked me up because I didn't really have many I didn't have any close friends really. I didn't, like, you know how you have friends that like hang out and go over to your house and stuff and just kind of like you kind of just chill for a bit. Did you ever go on r/I'm14? This is deep. No, I didn't. I only recently learned about that. But because I didn't really have Sakura Kitty or Sakiri the Kitty. Thank you for the follow. We're having a deep conversation about pretty much my entire life story about how I got into art and how I became a furry. Okay, let's continue on. And because I like was in that like serious vat of depression, it was and I didn't really have any friends. It was just kind of like, you know how your brain kind of just goes, you don't matter, no one cares about you. Like, literally, the world wouldn't give a shit if you left or not. And for the most part, yeah, that's probably true. The world would have gone on just how if I died now, the world would go on, but that doesn't mean people don't care. Um, so yeah, but that was like it was like a constant battle. It's like there is like my brain is like there's got to be there's something desperately wrong with me, and then everyone on the outside is just like it's all in your head, it's all in your head, and for the most part they were right. They weren't entirely they were very far off from right, but they were still mostly right. Like they're like 55% right, I would say, like 50 to 60% right, which is still there's still like a 40% wrong, and it's still a fucking F. So in the end, it still failed because of like recent events that I learned where it's like, yeah. So that's been fucking me up too recently. Anyways, so I was dealing with suicidal thoughts and depression through most of sophomore year, and then junior year, I am more the same, honestly. And was it that summer, or was it the summer going into junior year? It had to be the one going outside of sophomore year and into junior year because I feel like I wouldn't be that immature afterwards. So at this point, my parents found out what a brony was. They still didn't know what a furry was because like the brony thing had like kicked in full swing, and it was like the total sensation that was sweeping the nation. Like this hot new fandom that was super fucking weird, and no one knew what the fuck was going on. It was the brony fandom, and my parents were like, "What the hell is this?" And obviously they were fine with it. It's just like I was never brony. It was just brought up in conversation a couple of times because it was funny to make fun of them, and it was funny to kind of like, oh, look at these people. It's kind of weird. But I was like, I was never one, and I never like straight up. It just never gravitated. I just was never gravitated towards it. It never intrigued me. It never really like cartoons have never really been like my jam. They're kind of cool. I like a lot of them, but to like actively seek out ones, I haven't done that in like a decade. Or I haven't done that no in like half a decade. Well, actually they have very good writing. That's okay, but I just don't like the art style. And I don't like them. I don't really like horses like at all. I find them kind of creepy. So, doesn't matter how good the writing is. If they were like foxes or something, maybe. But ponies, no, no. I'm just sorry. I can't watch that. It's just I don't like the aesthetic of tiny horses. It's just weird. Uh, in any case, that kind of was brought up in conversation a couple of times. Right. I'm trying to think. Okay, so let's go on to the. So I also did 4-H as a kid, and I was specifically a part of a 4-H group that specialized in chickens because I have chickens and I still have chickens, and some of the chickens I have from back then are still surviving. One of them is still laying eggs, which I have no idea how it's still doing that. I swear this chicken is immortal because it looks just as young as it did. I don't know, like 5 years ago. It's insane. Brony fandom was so close to becoming a big thing, but all the infighting tore it apart. Also, the fact the show kind of ended, and it's kind of one of the reasons that like a lot of these fandoms don't really last that long, is because they're all dependent on like an external source of media, which I mean is fine and all, but it doesn't ever really mean that like fandoms are going to die, which is kind of why like the Avatar fandom died and why like a lot of old Nickelodeon shows fandoms died. It's just they don't last forever. You have chickens. I'm jealous. Yes, we have a Buff Orpington, an Americana, an Old English game, and oh, what are the two new ones we got? I don't know. We had two Old English games. We had a modern game that was my personal favorite. That was my personal chicken. She was pretty. We had a couple of others. We had a Mohawk chicken that was pretty dope. It had cancer, so it died pretty quickly. Uh, but Buff Orpingtons are my fave. Buff Orpingtons are like they're like the gingers of the chicken world. Copus the peacock has just subscribed. Canopus the peacock. That took me 3 times. Good lord. And what does 4-H have to do with this? Oh right, because there is a designated backpacking trip into the Buckhorn Wilderness on the Olympic Peninsula that was for 4-H members only. It was a group of a very small group of 4-H members, and like a couple of our 4-H members was going to go, but then because of like my brother broke something or got really sick, another member from our club just decided to not go, and I was like, well, fuck, I'm the only one who's going along. Cool. And it was like a bunch of like it was mostly new members. I think I was like the only actual 4-H member on the trip, like who had been a part of 4-H for a very long time. Everybody else are like new members. One of the kids was annoying as shit. I actually slapped him on the trip. That was an experience. That was the first time I've ever like been like the one who actually was like, you need to fuck off, instead of other people being like that to me, saying I need to fuck off. So that was an that was an experience. No, there was one other like guy there who was like a relatively old 4-H member, so I was me and two. But there was this one kid named Theory. I and he was very tall, very big, and he was the guy with the camera. He was the camera dude. He was super cool, and we were the ones who were sleeping in the tent together because it was like, yeah, we're gonna. I don't want to sleep with the annoying kid. Yeah, so those two can sleep together in the tents, and we can share a tent. And they gave us like little journals that we could journal our notes in, and I was like, oh, cool. A drawing pad. And everybody else thought the exact same thing because we're a bunch of kids and we have the attention spans of coked up squirrels. So it's like, yeah, we're going to write notes in this. What do you think we are, 20? In any case, even at 20 years old, I still would have drawn it. And we went on the trip. It was like, I think it was like a week-long trip, 4 days. I can't remember. It was so long ago. And I was telling Theory about like all these animation ideas I had because I wanted to be a YouTube animator and I wanted to make stuff like Flash Gits or Jazz's Studios and like a lot of those really cool YouTube channels who had like animation based content, like the old Pimation stuff and whatnot. No, this was like, was this before Pimations? I think this was even before Pimations. Like Battlefield Friends and stuff like that. And I was telling Theory about like stories I had for like video game characters, because I was still obsessed with fucking dragons. I was like, hey, I want to create like this dragon bar thing, and I was gonna poke fun at bronies because there's one character in there that I very recently learned was called that. At that moment, I learned was called Spike, because I was like, yeah, the little my little pony dragon could get thrown in the trash by like Smog or some shit, and at that point, Theory was like, "Hey, yeah, I mean, Spike's a pretty shitty character. Like, no one likes him anyways." And like at that moment, when we were walking, I was like, because we were on a backpacking trip, I was like, I think Theory's not telling me something. And I think it was that night where I was like, I'm gonna rest on this. Theory's definitely probably a brony. And I like legitimately asked, it was like, hey, Theory, you're a brony? And he just went, ooh, and I was like, fuck, I'm sleeping in the same tent as a brony. Oh no. And I was just like, okay, what? I didn't expect this. Stop. Oh no, Theory was also like a relatively long-standing 4-H member as well. But I was basically that was my first actual meeting of a brony in real life, and I was like, whoa, this guy's gotta chill. I mean, I don't really understand it that much, but okay, I don't really care that much. You're pretty cool otherwise. So we went off because I liked American Dragon, so I started talking about American Dragon, and he liked American Dragon, and we both liked American Dragon. I was like, hell yeah, that was a good Disney TV show. I honestly don't know if it's a good TV show or not. I should probably look back on it and see if it is, because my guess is I'm gonna rewatch it and be like, wow, this show was kind of shit. Good lord. And commissions. Hey, Keith. I'm talking about how I became a furry, not commissions right now. I'm literally, I think I'm like about an hour into my goddamn story. I wasn't a furry at this point, and I was like, oh, good lord, what's going on? Oh, okay. And we started talking about how'd you get to be a furry? Well, I'm on the story. I'm on the backpacking trip section of the story. We already got past the initial like 10-year gap from me seeing my first furry art ever and not knowing what it was, to mountain biking, to how I got into actual art, and now we're on like the like to the point where I actually found out what a furry was, and now we're on to the backpacking trip that changed everything. And I'm not kidding when I mean this is the backpacking trip that changed everything. So I basically find out that Theory is just really chill and really cool. And if I ever see him at a convention again, I'm gonna like run up to him and tackle him to the ground because he's cool as hell. And if you're watching this, Theory, hi, you're chill as hell. But my guess is you're probably not a furry anymore, and that's okay. But what ended up happening is we talked about furry stuff, or not furry stuff yet. We talked about brony stuff, like basically like what his appeal was to it, because I was very interested in the like why it appealed to him. He's like, it's cool, it's good writing and it's wholesome. And it's just like, yeah, but ponies are ugly, and he's just like, fuck you. And I was like, fuck you. And but it was fun. And I think we went a couple of nights, and then we got on the conversation of furries, and I was like, "Oh yeah, furries are weird." And he's like, "Yeah, furries are weird too." "Hey, Theory, are you a furry?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Fuck, 2 in a row, really, Jesus." Good lord, I swear, petition Zilda to make a video about his transition to a furry. I don't want to make an hour-long animation. No, we're not making that video. Not unless I have like Odd Ones Out level animators working for me, and I don't have that money, and I also am too proud and would want, or, well, not necessarily proud because the Odd Ones Out does a really good job, but it would take forever, and I don't have that mental capacity, considering it takes me like 3 months to actually put out an actual video, which, yeah, no, that's about on par with where I am right now, so it's like 4 videos a year, Jesus Christ. And at that point, I was like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. We're this deep into the rabbit hole. What have you got for me, Theory? Then he told me about like some stuff about the fandom and whatnot, and I was like, hell yeah. Okay. Doesn't really cool. And I think that was like, because that was my first experience with the furry, that really kind of shaped how I viewed them, because like Theory was such a chill, cool dude, and I was just like, this is not what like the internet tells me furries and these people are. They like tell me they're like fat, cringy basement dwellers, but this guy's like out in the woods being kind of cool, and it was fun. And we got back, and I was like, well, I'm probably never going to see you again. It was really cool meeting you, and we parted ways. And I still think back at that like trip a lot, and like kind of like discovering like how it was really funny because that trip was initially designed for like 4-H members to discover nature and like the ecosystem. That was like the furry awakening for me. Sorry, 4-H, that backfire on you. Now I make money doing this shit. I was supposed to get like a love for nature, but then I found a love for something else. Anyways, I just kind of went on. So junior year happened and went. I was a part of FRC, so first robotics competition, and I was the human player on our team, and I was really fucking good, like obnoxiously good for the human player. It was like our first competition where like one of the football players that was on the team was like, "All right, let's send him in. Let's see if he can throw like these pool noodles," because it was called Recycle Rush. Yo, FRC Pog. Yeah, like FRC streams on Twitch. That's really cool. But I was really that the year was called Recycle Rush, and I threw the little trash pieces really freaking well. They were like pool noodles, and I managed to get them to basically twist. Oh, 2015. Yeah. It was a year. And I was really good. And to be quite frank, it was because of that point value and like one design thing that we got that made us go to nationals or internationals that year. It was super cool, and it was like such a fun experience, and holy shit, was I hyped for it. It was like the most incredible experience, one of the most incredible experiences of my entire life, even now. Thinking back on it, it's just um such a cool thing to do. Also, St. Louis has really good barbecue. Just saying. If you want to get good barbecue, go to St. Louis. If you want the decent living conditions, probably don't go to St. Louis. But in any case, it was super cool. But there was one other team there that was called Skunkworks Robotics, and because I grew up in Washington, I was a part of a team in Washington. If you can find what team I am on, in the well, probably yeah, in the robotics team I have should still have the old frame I made my senior year, because that thing is like a fucking tank. It was never used, but it was turned into the controller board, and it would be green. It would be green hexagoned out CNC'd sheet metal with a black framing. So if you can find that, you probably went to my school, and you're probably looking at something I created in high school. They let me use a CNC machine in high school, and they won't let me use a fucking CNC machine in college because apparently I need to prove myself again, and I haven't been able to because all of the other engineers who are like engineering tech get to use the CNC machines. I don't because apparently I'm not qualified enough. Anyways, that's a rant for another day. I'm so fucking pissed at my college for basically cucking me over multiple times. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at them at all. Like I normally don't get mad at other people because I'm normally pretty good about blaming myself for my own mistakes, but this was completely out of my hands, and it was I'm still livid about it. 4 fucking years. Anyways, we went to Worlds that year, but there's another team called Skunkwork Robotics. You can't use a 3D printer unless you're tested on it. See, the thing is with a 3D printer, you can get a cheap one for like 200, so you don't even need a school 3D printer. You just use your own because frankly it's cheaper than using a makerspace one. If you're printing multiple times. And that team, so the team Skunkworks Robotics was a team out of Seattle, and every single member of their team were tails at competition. Now, obviously, I talked to Theory, and I was like, "Yeah, that's the furry team. That's the furry team." Now, obviously, they weren't furries. I think there was one member my senior year where I was like, "That person's a furry, and they know what's going on," but no one else on the team does, and that's hilarious. And I was like, "Oh, I really like the team. They're so cool. I really want to like. Damn, I wish I could make robots like that. I still wish I could make robots like that. I was good at engineering, but we didn't really have any mentors on our team, so it was basically me trying to design everything, and also my attention span was just incredibly low. Again, because of the ADHD and stuff. But I tried my best, and unfortunately, my best wasn't really good enough, and none of my designs were ever used. And none of my designs are ever used, actually. Unfortunately, throughout all of my years of engineering, I think maybe one or two of my designs have ever been implemented into either an FRC robot or even a Baja SAE car. I'm just. Oh, wow. It's like DeviantArt all over again. Huh. The best time was when I was on the Mars mining competition. Actually went down to Kennedy Space Center to compete. It was whack. Yeah, that's a college level competition too. That's a pretty cool one. I know one of the capstone teams at my university works on that specific competition too, which is pretty dope. I don't know if they do well or not. So I looked at that team and I was like, "Yo, this team's freaking awesome. I want to be them. I really like skunks. I really like skunks. They look cool. You can see where I'm getting at from here." And because I was like a goddamn robot at throwing these little poo noodles across a field directly into the um opponent's like field area, I got a reputation with my team of just being really goddamn good. To the point where I was actually able to jam up one of the top team's robots on the other end of the field by directly aiming a noodle at their bot and completely jamming up their feed system, which allowed us to win the match, which was really funny for me and our team, but probably wasn't very funny for them thinking back on it. But and so I think that was like the first version of my Sona ever because I was like, hell yeah, I got like this robot arm, and that skunk team is kind of cool. So I think it was after the first competition in Mount Vernon, Washington. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go draw myself as a skunk with the robot arm. And I did. And it felt weird. It was like, huh. I feel dirty. After that, we went to nationals. It was super cool, and those skunk drawings were hidden under my bed, along with all the other dragon drawings I had, and I just did not share them because they were all hidden under my bed. And I would pull them out at night, and no one else would know they're there. My cat threw up on them once, so I had to burn some of them because of that, and then I burned the rest later. You didn't start as one of those base sonas? No, I didn't. I didn't even know those existed back then. This is before I even know bases existed. And even when I did find out bases existed, I was like, oh, cool, there's a base. And I'm just like, this base sucks. I'm gonna draw my own. Yeah, that was it. It's like I looked up bases on DeviantArt, and all the bases on DeviantArt were fucking shit. And I was like, these bases suck. I'm gonna draw my own. And I did, and I'm glad I did that. And then I, what is it? There's the your name but Sonic but the Hedgehog. So I typed in like my name the Hedgehog. I think it was like a couple of weeks after that because I was doing it with like a couple of friends, and it's like, haha, look, I come up as this edgy looking motherfucker, and I was like, you know, it'd be fun is if I did this but typed in insert my real name but furry, and I did, and I was like, oh my god, that's a cool ass looking character. Whoa, holy shit! It's like a mix of like a dragon and like a fox. It's like a dragon fox. It's like this weird mix, and it was super cool. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take this. And I took it and made it my own, but because it was just like it was obviously someone else's character, and I shouldn't have done that. But also, I wasn't a part of the fandom, so it didn't really matter because I just like drew it in my room myself, and I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't do this, but whatever. And it inevitably like grew into a slightly different character. I added some stripes under the eyes, kind of like a red panda. And that's where you can start. And I kept the blue the character had in certain areas, and you can kind of see. Oh, hey, Epic Coyote, what's up? We were talking about how I became a furry, and you can kind of see how my character developed from that, or at least my V1 of my character developed from that kind of early phase. Is like, oh, I need to make this my own character, so I'm gonna add like some extra markings to it. And I think that was like the point where I was like, yo, these are some really cute guys, like characters. I kind of want to look at more of these. And I did, and it's like, these are kind of unique. This one is kind of unique. And I found like some really cool artists. I was like, yo, I really like this style. Like normally I like artist styles because I like looked at comic book art and like Jazz's art and other artists of that caliber, but I was like, I really like this art. I really, really like this art. I'm going to start trying to draw in this style and learn how they draw in this style so I can implement this style into my style and go from there. Now, where is it? Like, that style implementation happened at some point. I'm trying to find where that implementation happened. And then I found some like more people on DeviantArt that I really liked, and more people other places. Here, let me So for reference, here's one of my old art pieces. I'm gonna put it in I'm gonna go back to general. So we're gonna go back to generic, and this is like this is what I used to draw. This is before I was a furry. This is kind of before everything. So, and this is done traditionally, by the way. So here's one of my old art pieces. This is of Lucario. He fluffy. I didn't really know how to draw fur back then. I was kind of guessing in the dark. I tried drawing him doing a flip, but the action isn't that great, and like the lines don't really work terribly well. If I were to redraw it, I could probably do a better job. And then we had some of the other stuff. with that wasn't Pokemon because I also really like Pokemon. I completely forgot to mention that. Yeah, but I like Pokemon was my freaking jam. Pokemon was awesome, and I love Pokemon so much in my like junior and senior year of high school. Like I absolutely loved it. Oh hey, there's a bunch of people who are um following. Key Fox, lovely 420, Emo Monster. Pokemon was the best. And then like here's an example of some of my like humans that I drew, and this was all done traditionally, by the way. I used to actually trick people into thinking that this was printed like from a computer and stuff. Emo, Emo Monster 666 is hosting with one viewer. Thank you, Emo Monster, for the host. So I've always been lazy. By the way, this design, I drew this before Genji existed. This was drawn in, what is it? This was drawn in 2015. This is before Overwatch. When was Overwatch? Overwatch. Yeah, this was an entire year before. This was an entire year before Overwatch. So, Blizzard, you got some explaining to do. But also, I think Blizzard owes you copyright payments. I think Blizzard does owe me copyright payments. I literally predicted Genji. That's insane. Oh, that's really funny. And so I've been good at drawing humans. And where was I? I was like, oh yeah, I drew my first skunk persona thing, and then I found another persona after looking at my real name, and like, but this was before I called him Sona. I was like, I'm just gonna call it Sona, and I still call it Sona because persona sounds stupid as hell. Like honestly, why did we come up with that word? It's like Sona. It sounds so much better. Like why do we love the puns so much? They suck. It's stupid. So Zillion, have you ever seen Gilded Guy? I have not. Good lord. Imagine if you kid with using Blizzard for suing Blizzard for copyright infringement. I mean, so Genji was developed completely differently than that character. Like there's a completely different design philosophy with that character compared to Genji, so there wouldn't really be any way to do it. Genji was based off of a split off from Hanzo because Genji and Hanzo were initially supposed to be the same character, but in development they realized that they were packing too much into one character, so they decided to basically split the two. So as much as it might be possible to try to do copyright infringement because that'd be funny, there's no way it would actually follow through because their ideation is pretty well logged, is my guess. Okay, where do I go from here? Right. Senior year of high school, I started like drawing more and more furry stuff. This was like when I discovered like artists that I actually liked, and I was like, whoa. Hey man, hey, a man can dream, right? A man can dream, but I'm sitting here with 100 viewers telling a story about how I became a furry and nearing 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm already living the dream, man. I think my life is pretty good. And I was moving to my new school, and I was like, hell yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to a meetup with other people who are going to the same school I am. And I was like, okay, cool. Let's see the other people here. And I met some people there who were pretty chill, that were all my age. And it's like, oh hey, none of these guys really. Oh, this one person is into art. Oh, cool. Hell yeah, I like this dude. And I talked to this kid. We'll call him Tim. No, we'll call him Steve because it's a pretty common name. I know a lot of Steves. We'll call him Steve. So Steve was this really cool dude who wore a leather jacket and was super Asian. Like, well, he was Chinese, and he was going to the same school I was, but for art, because I was going there for engineering. Literally, like half the people were going there for engineering, and I have not seen a single one of them senior year. So that tells you anything about how hard engineering is. Engineering is hard. Understand that there are a lot of dropouts. And I was like, oh hell yeah, this guy is super cool. Let's take a look at his DeviantArt. Oh wow, he was really good at drawing ships. I'm gonna look him up. Do I still? Yeah, I wonder if he still has.
Living the dream and getting paid for it?
Kitsura says, living the dream and getting paid for it. Yeah, a little bit. Let's see. I'm gonna look up and see if his old, because he's completely abandoned DeviantArt. That's just frank. Who the fuck? Okay, which one of you cross Google searched that goddamn piece of art and found my DeviantArt? Good lord. Jesus. I was fucking quick. Christ. Kudos to you, but also that's really kind of scary. Who did that? It's a little bit scary. Let's see if I can't find the old piece I did. There it is. Yeah, they went by this name. They don't ever post here anymore. Yeah, their latest deviations were my freshman year of college. But yeah, no, we what ended up happening, your secret admirer. Oh my god, that's scary. Sadly, it wasn't me. Anyways, that's creepy. How did you search? Because I tried, but I couldn't find anything. Well, basically, you do a Google image search, and it can like cross-reference images from that. Another item on my list of probably shouldn't become popular. One cool thing about my DeviantArt is I still don't post my face on it. So even if you did find my DeviantArt, you still would have no idea who I am, like as a person. And I plan on keeping it that way because, frankly, people figuring out who I am is probably the most scary thing I can think of. Because I like my anonymity. I like people not knowing what I look like. I like people remembering me for my personality and not my looks, because that's just kind of how I like to operate, because that's what I think is more important. And in any case, I basically was like, yo, this guy's cool. And his DeviantArt was pretty cool too. He drew a lot of ships and stuff, and I was like, whoa, this is sick. And he's still an excellent artist. He's like trying to get into concept art now. He's really fucking good. And I was like looking at all of his art and stuff, and I was like, whoa, there's some furries on here. Huh. Weird. Like, there's a couple of little furries on here. Huh. 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 Hmm. I'm looking back on some of it now. And I was like, and I think we had, because we became really good friends because of that like meeting, because I immediately started shit talking furries and he was like, you're a fucking furry, I know it. From like immediately off the bat. And I think we continued talking over the summer and he was the first person like fully confessed, like, yeah, I'm a furry. And he was like, yeah. It was pretty obvious. And we basically started talking more and more. We did something called like the all-nighter art challenge, which we need to do again. Where basically we spent all night drawing one piece of art and seeing what we look like at 6 in the morning, tired off of our asses. I was just freaking dead. We did it back like before freshman year. That was really cool. And we decided we liked each other so much we decided to be roommates all the way up to junior year of college. And I want to play Minecraft. My computer is currently out of order. I'm sorry, Clucky. So we became roommates the first year, and we had another friend called we'll call him Steve 2 because I'm sure I know a lot of Steves in my life. But basically, me and Steve got along really well, and it was like the first time in a long time that I was like, "Hey, I can openly draw furries." And like at that time, I had like a very Vivzy Pop inspired style to my art, and I was like, "Hell yeah, I can draw like." And I was like, "Hey, Steve, what do you think your persona is?" He's like, "I don't know, maybe a fennec fox." All right, I'll draw a fennec fox. I don't know, maybe it's just a regular fox. All right, I'll draw a regular fox. I was just like, I was free. I was free to not be stuck in a room that was smaller than a solitary confinement cell, drawing on a dinky little filing cabinet, and it was amazing. And I had like all the privacy because my other roommate was a furry, and he knew he wasn't as in deep in it, or no, like he was more in deep in it than I was at the time. And we just kind of like, yeah, cool, this is awesome. And it was really cool. At that point, I had gotten my Wacom Cintiq. I had upgraded from my little computer from like my little Veo computer and found my Wacom Cintiq. That was my present for that year for graduating high school was my Wacom Cintiq Companion 2. And I used that all the way up through like good lord, like pretty much all of college. And I I loved it. I loved the freedom. I was really loving my engineering classes. And I was free for like the first time in my life. I was like kind of free to do whatever the hell I wanted. And it was awesome. I thought it was the coolest thing. Granted, this was back freshman year of college, and I was still a cringy piece of shit. And I did things that like I feel really stupid about now, and I will always feel stupid about it. And it's good lord. Anyway, all right, I should probably go back to the conversation. Just chat, just chit chat. I'm pretty sure I found you. I'm pretty sure I found you. Coffee the Proto. Probably if there is a yeah, if it has like all my Inktober sketches on it, yeah, probably. But again, you notice that you cannot find any of my like any information about me or anything I do if you look at my profile because I am very good at keeping anonymity. Some of the chat's blocked by Facebook. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, that's the way it has to go. Unless I can hold on. I can do this. There we go. Nope. And oh god, it was great. And like me, I started watching me and Steve one. started watching YouTube cringe compilations of furries because we were furries, but we weren't like those other furries. We weren't the cringy kind. We were just the really, we were at the time very edgy and very cringy. Yes. See, the thing is, somebody says the more you say, I'm good at keeping my identity a secret, the sooner some rando creep will dig it up. And that's the thing is, if you, and this is said directly at you, are thinking about that. If you are the type of person who wants to dig up my actual identity and stuff, you're the type I will know. And I will know that you are the person I want to avoid. Because the people who are going to actively dig up my identity are the people I will know to never talk to. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a pain is engineering work? Probably like probably a solid 10. Most of the time, especially with ADHD. Definitely a 10. A solid 10 most of the time. Yeah, and I was like, I'm not like other furries, and we started watching like furry. This was back when Vine was a thing. And we watched like furry Vine compilations, and we're like, oh, these are oh, this one's kind of neat. Oh, this one's okay. This one's pretty bad. Oh, this is really funny. Oh shit, I'm liking this. And I like started watching, and that was kind of like when I just discovered furry YouTube, and I was like, oh, this is kind of neat. This is kind of cool. I like this. This is pretty fun. And I just kind of like watched videos and did stuff like OG mature content, like back when his videos weren't 10 minutes long, like back when they were like 5 to 7 minutes each. Back when the adpocalypse didn't happen, and like Vine, I watched a lot of furry Vine compilations and lots of regular Vine compilations. Marlon Webb was a personal favorite. And then it was freshman year, 2017. I'd just gotten back from winter break back home. And I said, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Let's create a furry art account. And the reason I did this is because I had actually been experimenting with a new style. And this style was one that I found from just kind of experimenting around with like an old friend, somebody who I actually know now. And this was, so I basically started experimenting. This person's called Sapphire Sheer. You can go follow them on Twitter too. I like shout them out in a post. So we still actually know each other. They're like an OG friend in terms of like art. Like they knew me back in DeviantArt. I found them again like after I'd like become like a full-blown furry YouTuber. I was like, hey, what's up? And they were like, no fucking way, is that you? But this is the art I did for them. And it was like the begin, like I was experimenting with sharper edges, like really sharp edges, like doing like basically experimenting with straight lines, which, oh right, you can't see it. So this was, and I started experimenting with straight lines. As you can see, there's a straight, it's a bit curved in certain areas, but like in the shoulders and stuff, it's like pretty much just straight. And I was experimenting with like, again, doing more straight lines. And I was like, hold on, I kind of like this edgy style. I think this looks quite neat. I wonder what would happen if I used it a bit more. And it was after doing this drawing and after Inktober that year, I was like, you know what? I'm really enjoying art. I think I'm going to do it. And like that Inktober, dude, I fucking killed it. So Inktober 2016, I nailed it. It was I did it. I did a freaking banger up job. Hold on, I'm gonna try to find some of my posts from that. So there's like The first day of October, which is this. Which is this drawing. Which is of like the bouncer from Studio Killers. The song Bouncer. And then all the way up to, let's go to probably... Let's go about... There's a really good one I did about a dragon. This one. Which was done like late in the month. So I went from that to that in the span of 1 month, in terms of how well I was drawing. And this, if you can't tell, is the same character from my current Inktober story, Half Blood. So I definitely I came up with this art piece and was like, you know what? I can make a story out of this. So I did. As you can see, I'm pretty good at drawing dragons even back then. I loved them. I love dragons. It's a really good dragon, actually. Like, that's an exceptionally good-looking dragon. Anyways, after that, I was like, fuck it. Let's make an art account. And I decided, all right, let's go with Tumblr. But then I couldn't figure out how to use Tumblr. And Zillion is secretly a dragon, maybe. And I was like, okay, Tumblr isn't really working. I have no clue what the fuck is going on. So I then decided, it's like, Tumblr is pretty close to Instagram, right? Okay, let's try to figure out Instagram. So I then figured out Instagram, and we came up with the first ever full furry art piece that I ever did. And I still have it. There it is. Right there. First ever post. Ever on furry anything. Implementing that really jagged art style and just kind of going from there. And that was kind of like, oh, shoot. I'm like getting like all like thinking back on all this stuff. And it was like that first post got like a like within a couple of hours. And I was like, what? How is this? How is this getting likes? Like, there's 10 likes on this already. It takes me like, it took like the most posts I've ever gotten on DeviantArt is like maybe 17 likes at most, except for one really viral post that like got 100 favorites. But that was about it. Did he get 100 favorites or did he get more? I feel like it got more because frankly it was pretty funny. But also I'm not that well known, so probably not. Let me just go back to it, see if I can't find it. Now it got 140. That's pretty cool. That one got 6. This is awful. This is a banger ass comic. I'm mad. It's like one. That one has 69. There's one really good comic that I wrote that I'm really sad to get more likes. In any case, I made that initial post, and the first person to like it, and the first person to follow, and I got like a follow, and I was like, "What the fuck? Somebody followed me?" And the first person to follow me was my friend Spooch Coyote, and he was following like a bunch of accounts because he wanted to get notoriety on Instagram. But I just kind of like messaged him out of the blue, like, "Hey man, thank you for the follow, dude," and we're still friends to this day. Like we still contact each other. We're talking about like COVID stuff right now and about how much of a bitch it is. And after that, it was kind of like, holy shit. And I think I made like a fan art piece for Rainy Chaos after that. I was like, hey, Rainy, I'm sorry all this random crap is happening to you on YouTube, because this was like when Rainy was like a featured content creator, and it was, they were getting a shit ton of flack for it. And I was like, hey, I'm sorry that all this is happening. Here's some fan art. And this is like me fully thinking that they will not see it, because that's just kind of how it operates. That's just kind of how those sites operate. It's just you don't really see, because I was on DeviantArt and I like did fan art for people and stuff, and I was like, yeah, people aren't really gonna see this, that's fine. What I didn't expect was to get a response back, and I was like that feeling to know like the first time somebody that I watched and somebody that I knew basically responded back to me that they saw my art. It felt incredible, which is why I do my best to like retweet and favorite every single art piece that I get. And I really hate it when I miss some, because it sucks. And I try to like comment and stuff because it does feel really good, and it's such a it's the amount of motivation that someone can get from hearing that and seeing that is just insane. And I was like, yo, what? And then I was like, there's no way this will be twice. And I like did the same thing. I drew fan art for Mature, and it's like it's the same thing. Holy shit. And I think it was at that point where I was like, I think somebody messaged me, was like, dude, you're a really good artist. And that was the first time I ever heard that. Like from someone online. Where it's just like, you're a good artist. It's like, I am. I've never heard that before. Genuinely, I've never heard someone say that to me before. Do you do commissions? What? I've I've never been asked to do commissions before. Why didn't I just draw you something for free? And I did. And then I started like getting more followers, and I started drawing more stuff, and I started doing more, and it was just a feedback loop of just positive motivation, where I drew more and more people followed me, and I wanted to draw more, and oh my god, like how cheap were my first commissions? Oh my god. So for reference, guys, my commissions back like when I started doing them were freaking $12 for a full body back when I started on Instagram, because I didn't know what money was, and I was an idiot. I could really learn a thing or two from my old art style too. There was one commission that set it all off. I think it was it was like that one. So I'm like trying to find the one mission. Yeah, it was Jackie Fox. It was this commission. Like set it all off. This is still one of the best tails I've ever drawn. It was from like years ago. They liked the drawing so much that they kept the armor in their updated piece. This is the one I'm talking about. This is the one commission that changed it up, because this was the first commission I implemented the use of triangles on like the legs and lighting and stuff, and it looked freaking fantastic. I also still very much have that super freaking edgy style, which I'd love to go back to and love to like implement more. But it was just it was so apparent. Damn. Yeah, that's how much my old refs that's how much my old missions used to be, because good lord, I had no self-esteem. And I think from there, I met friends through the YouTube community. I started doing T-shirts with some furry companies. I then did more art. I then did more stuff, and then I started a YouTube channel. And yeah, I think you guys all know the rest from there. So that's basically my entire story up till this point. All right, guys. That's I hope you guys have enjoyed that like hour and 30-minute long conversation about how I became a furry. In any case, oh hey. Ixnar created 10 bits saying, Zillion, thank you, Zillion, for telling your story. It's a nice person, and I wish you the best. Sorry I brought it up and interrupted your arts. It's totally okay. We'll get right back into it in just a second.
Sometimes I feel like everybody's got a problem. Sometimes I feel like nobody wants to solve them.
Actually, thank you for making me tell this story, because it really kind of reminded me why I do all this to begin with. Wild Ass cheered with 300 bits. Thank you so much. Sir, donating 1,000 bits. Thank you for the story of time. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Sorry it took so long. But yeah, I'm actually glad I really told that, because it really kind of reminds me why I do this to begin with. Because you really shouldn't forget like where you came from. And that's one thing that I try not to forget. Oh shoot, I'm drawing again. Hold on. I've been drawing and didn't have the thing on. Oh my god.
Thanks for sharing the story. You are a great person.
Let's start the music over again. Thanks for sharing this story. You are a great person. Well, I'm glad you think so. And I'm glad I could share this story.
Sometimes I feel like everybody's got a problem. Sometimes I feel like nobody wants to solve them. I know that people say we're never gonna make it, but I know we're gonna get through this. Close your eyes and please don't let me go. Don't let me go now. Close your eyes, don't let me let you go. Take my hand tonight. Let's not think about tomorrow. Take my hand tonight. We can find some place to go. 'Cause our hearts are locked forever, and our love will never die. Take my hand tonight, one last time. The city sleeps and we're lost in the moment. Another kiss as we're lying on the pavement. If they could see us, they would tell us that we're crazy. But I know they just don't understand. Please don't let me go. Don't let me go now. Don't let me let you go. Take my hand tonight. Let's not think about tomorrow. Take my hand tonight. We can find some place to go. 'Cause our hearts are locked forever, and our love will never die. Take my hand tonight, one last time. Raindrops, the tears keep falling. I see your face and it keeps me going. If I get lost, your light's gonna guide me, and I know that you can take me home. You can take me Take my hand tonight. Let's not think about tomorrow. Take my hand tonight. We can find some place to go. 'Cause our hearts are locked forever, and our love will never die. Take my hand tonight, one last time. Take my hand tonight. Let's not think about tomorrow. Take my hand tonight. We can find some place to go. 'Cause our hearts are locked forever, and our love will never die. Take my hand tonight, one last time.
I'm calling you from the future to let you know we made a mistake. And there's a far from the past that's given me.
I also do miss some of my old friends from Instagram when I started.
And I'm back with the madness. I'm a champion of
Rocker Fox, just subscribe to Tier 1. Rocker, why have you not been following? Have you been following me up to this point? Please tell me you have. I've been. See you, Rocker.
I got rage every day on the inside. The only thing I do is sit around and kill time. I'm trying to blow out the pilot light. I'm trying to blow out the light. I'm just young enough to still believe. But young enough not to know what to believe in. Young enough not to know what to believe. If I can live through this, if I can live through this, if I can live through this, I can do anything. If I can live through this, if I can live through this, if I can live through this, I can do anything. Champion, I can do anything. Champion.
Mrs. Goodall has been a mess trying to get back on track. So glad I could catch tonight and have a good one. See you, Rocker. It's fun to have you. I'm probably going to get off here in a second, too.
I can do anything. If I can live through this, if I can live through this, if I can live through
Just making some mental notes.
this, I can do anything. I can do anything. I can do anything, anything. If I can live through this, if I can live through this, if I can
I think that's good.
Don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel left out or looked down on. Just try your best. Try everything you can. And don't you worry what they tell themselves when you're away. It just takes some time, little girl. You're in a little out the right. Everything will be just fine. Everything will be alright, alright. Hey, you know they're all the same. You know you're doing better on your own. So don't buy in. Live right now. Yeah, just be yourself. It doesn't matter if it's good enough for someone else. It just takes some time, little girl, in a little out the right. Everything will be just fine. Everything
Alright, I think we're done here.
alright.
Thank you, everybody, for joining tonight. I'm really glad whoever asked me to tell that story told me to tell that story because I had a wonderful time telling it. So, because I want to basically say everybody go to bed, I'm not going to rate another channel because it is late and I think people should go to sleep at this point. I'm going to go get a comforter from my brother's room who's not here and I'm going to rest up real nice and easy because it's cold in this apartment because there's no heaters on. And yeah.
Don't write yourself off yet. It's only in your head you feel
So I'll see you guys later.
look down.
Wait for this song to end. Man, imagine how much art I could have gotten done instead of telling that story. Bye, guys.